Well, what do we have here? The infamous XC9R that we built. We're up here in Tug Hill at the one and only Joe Gillespie. Big shout out to Joe for giving us this place to stay and hang out and film. And we have the one and only. He's been a little hiatus from the channel, but we're here. So everyone, welcome back. Yes, we are up here at Tug Hill Plateau, enjoying what's left of this little bit of snow. And we have the XC9R that we built earlier this year. So this has the Indy Specialty long rod 9R. And we're here to not talk about that right now. We're here to talk about more suspension than anything. So as you guys know on the channel, 90% of what we do is suspension related, trying to get these things to work as well as they could and to make us happy. So yeah. Bruce has some time now on this one, which is a 2024 136, and he's going to go into some of the changes that we've made, and we've talked about it, but now that we have some miles on it, he kind of wants to he and I want to let you guys know. And I just did a couple miles on it, and there will be some riding footage later on in the video, but Bruce is going to take over here.
Yeah, hey guys. So yeah, I was heading up in Vermont at another buddy's place, and it was marginal like most places, but it was still it was good riding, and I got some time on this. And so yeah, this just as a reminder, this was a 24 136 XCR 850. We pulled the motor, put that motor in it. We'll talk about it again later. And then right from the beginning, we did the valving that we worked on all last year, and the 125 springs in the front as opposed to the 100s that come with it. And then in the rear, we use that long tail torsion spring that we've been talking about from cross-country
From the cross-country sled. Yeah, we did touch about it a little bit in a couple things that explained it, but now that we have some time on it, like I said, now we're here to tell you guys.
Yeah, because especially with the snow that we've had this year, which was just kind of rigid. That first snow, usually you feel the ground, you feel the snow, you feel the ground through the snow. It's kind of a false reading. Well, unfortunately, we've had a lot of that this year. So, but now it did, when I went up north, it was, it was packed in and it was good, normal stuff. And I'll tell you, it chews up that small stuff because they're 16 pound per degree springs as opposed to what we had been using, which was an HD or an XHD, which was 13 pounds per degree. And the only difference between an XHD was the more preload. So it, for that heavier guy, just kind of set the sled up a little stiffer. These are 16 pound per degree, but they're less preload. So they're softer in the get-go. And obviously with the longer tail that we had talked about, rather than the spring coming down at an angle, and here's the old spot where it was, to the long tail where it's drilled out here and it's all the way out here. So it's picking up in front of the front torque arm. It mows over that small stuff, and you get through that trail and you kind of go like, what did I just go over? Mm-hmm. I mean, it just like makes it disappear. And then anything big or G out, it anti-bottoms, and I'm only like low medium on the block. I'm 180 pounds, and usually I was medium or medium high depending on the snow condition. I haven't moved this off medium low, and Jesse just rode it on that too. He's got a couple more cookies than I do, so one or two, and it wasn't, he still, maybe got to go medium, but or just clicker. So there's a lot more, and what we were trying to do is get more bandwidth out of these springs. Because it's like, the spring is like, okay, this is good for this. And okay, this is good for this. We're trying to utilize this spring and use it where it's good for a lot of things. Okay, I'm going to carry fuel this time. I'm going to, we're going on a longer trip. I got a bunch of stuff in a bag. No, I don't. I have that stuff off. I'm going to just flip the springs back. So we have more availability of good ride, no matter what kind of weight you're carrying on the sled. And I think you're definitely going to get that out of this.
Yeah, and I mean, like Bruce said, getting that availability out of these springs, but also just the handling factor that comes with them is it's crazy. It's like, it's only a spring change, how much could that do? And it's like, whoa, that does a lot.
It does a lot. And I valved it accordingly because the spring does have a little bit more pop to it, especially if it goes through the travel, so it rebounds a little slower in that. And it's the sled stays at that rake that we talk about, where what the rake of the sled sits at, and how it puts how much track on the ground makes it how it's going to steer. So how that sled comes back up and be where it needs to be more times than not makes it handle better. Mm-hmm. And so you get both ends out of that, even though the springs are in the back, and it's definitely noticeable.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's really incredible. And I mean, the sled behind it, which we're going to do another video on, which has a different setup in the rear, it's incredible to jump from one to the other and just feel what these things do. So they were a big success.
Yeah, I really, it's definitely what we were trying to do is have, okay, what's the next step in this? And because, okay, 25s are coming out next month, as far as what we'll all know what they are. And, you know, what are they going to do? What kind of changes are they going to do? Well, we're trying to be ahead of that curve.
They were trying to jump the gun.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we always do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, so I think we did. I mean, it's just that whole next step of handling through the bumps, turning, you know, everything. Just
the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw some riding clips in, and I know it's hard. You guys really can't see, you know, what the sled's doing, you know, through my GoPro on top of my helmet, but you guys enjoy it. So, you know, we'll do some riding, and then, you know, either I'll close it out or me and Bruce will close this video out, you know, on a later date. But, you know, before we even get to that, big win on the longtails, no doubt. So if you guys are interested, you can contact Bruce at Southside or the guys at Southside and, you know, get you guys all set up.
Yep.
He's got some laying around, so he can...
Yeah, we've done it now to probably 3 or 4 people that are hard riders. And I mean, one of them last week called me on the trail to tell me, like, just how incredible it was. And he rode that sled last year, so it wasn't like it was new to him. And it was just like the next step. And yeah, big difference.
Mm-hmm. So, riding footage, and we'll close the video out, but that is... I'm dying. I'm sweating. It's hot out here. Okay, now that I've caught my breath, I'm still a little hot, but so we did some miles yesterday, did some little testing here as you just saw, and man, this thing does work good. And talking about these long-tail torsions, like just flying, you know, through the air, it's just so level. It doesn't matter what you go through, it's always level. It's just very, very level, period. And I mean, that's what we talked about in the beginning, but you know, kind of proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
Doing a bunch of miles, high-speed stuff yesterday.
Yeah, I was on it a bunch yesterday, and it was just all through that mashed potato fast stuff on those seasonal roads. It was very predictable. And then today, hard pack, and you're doing that. I'm watching it go, and it's just so effortless. Yeah, no surprises.
No, and these things, you know, and again, I said it you know, in the beginning of the video, it's just incredible what a set of springs can do. You know, just springs.
Yeah, I mean, that was, what, 3 years ago now, you know, finding, you know, okay, HDs, XHDs, what do they actually do? What works for, you know, this guy's weight, that guy's weight, or what he's got on the back, or how he rides. That's why I try to talk to almost everybody, other than somebody that has a real good explanation. Sometimes I don't have to call them because I can just, yep, perfect. Other times I just got a couple little questions and just to feel them out as far as what they like or don't like, trying to just make that little bit of difference for that person. And it, but back then again with the springs, you know, just that first level of change made the difference. Got the sled, the rake right, you know, anti-bottom, all that kind of thing. And now here we are, a couple, 3 years later, more changes through the shocks, more changes, and now with the long tail spring and learning that one, and it's and now, you know, and this here too with the high gear, it's amazing the amount of change it makes. You know, a little bit, and it's a lot.
Yep. Yeah. So in a coming video, guys, it's all happening at the same time. And in a coming video, you know, that sled has the high gear rear linkage kit in it, and we're going to talk about that. We're just ending out the video of the long tail torsion springs now. But again, if you guys are interested and want to try them, you know, give the guys over at Southside a call. They can help you out. Bruce does have some, and he's put a, you know, in 3 or 4 sleds. I think we said that yesterday or in the beginning of the video, and they're working good. So if you guys want to get on it, call the guys over at Southside, and they'll get you hooked up. But just one more thing in the evolution of these sleds, and we're just trying to stay ahead of the curve and learn as much as we can and help you guys as much as we can. So, but that is going to do it for this video, guys. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys.